Hey guys, this is Brendan Faru here again, and this time I'm going to do a teardown of the TSURINOYA Dark Wolf Ultra. Please bear in mind that I have a couple mods done to my particular reel. And yeah, that being said, let's just get straight to it. Okay, so first we're going to start by removing the end plate, and by now many of you guys know about the issue with the braking system and how I have modded mine to go back to the dynamic braking system with Shimano Corrado BFS springs, brake shoe springs. I've also taken the liberty to go ahead and mod out the stock bearings to these microceramic bearings that I found on AliExpress. They're kind of similar to the Roro ones. I feel like they're just basically anodized a different color and a little bit cheaper, and it's kind of what was available on AliExpress to begin with. I couldn't find a Roro version of these, but I'll link bearing sizes and potentially AliExpress links in the description. So let's take out this spool, and so the second part of the bearing mod is going to be this spool bearing, which if you do go ahead and decide to do that, I don't know if you guys can see because I can't really see it either, but there's a little tiny C-clip on this side right here, and that guy is kind of a pain in the butt to get out, and it will go flying off and you will never find it again. There's a guy, Bassin Bonsai, who's done this, and his workaround to kind of fixing the pin in place, because it kind of wants to move around, is to stick a piece of thread through with the pin and kind of trap it in there and kind of wedge the piece of thread. I don't know how to do that, and you're probably going to want to go and search his videos and find that, and maybe I'll leave a link in the description below for that, but that's how you get that off. I was lucky enough to kind of be able to not completely lose this little guy. Not really sure how, but that's what you got to take off to get this pin out, and then once you get that pin out, you're able to get the stock bearing out and replace it. And so that's that for the spool. And so let's get into the actual reel itself. I will do a teardown of this worm gear portion of the reel to show you guys how to replace this bushing, the stock bushing on this side and on this side, but it'll be in a different video. And for this video, I'm just going to do a teardown of this portion of the reel. And so that being said, I will go ahead and start. I actually, for one of my mods, I went ahead and changed out the handle, and I changed it out for a Tatula handle that I have. It's a bit longer throw. For some particular reason on this reel, I like the longer throw, and I can't tell you why, but that's just what appeals to me. All right, so let's go ahead and start setting these aside. And so this is going to do the same thing where you need to kind of get purchase. If somebody has a better way of getting these drag clickers or drag stars off, then please let me know, because I don't know of a better way of getting them off. So yeah, this is the portion of the video where I'm just going to be tearing down the reel and just kind of blabbing. So if you want to mute, go ahead and mute. I may overlay some music like I suggested in the last video. And so this little key looks like a keyed washer that's going to go on the outside, and then there's going to be another washer underneath that, and then there's going to be two of these washers that kind of sandwich together, and you want them opposing each other. So if you look here, you want them to oppose and not to be in the same direction like this, and you don't want them kind of like that together. You want them to kind of oppose each other to act like a spring almost. So I'm going to set those two there. And there is one more washer, maybe even two. Come on. There we go. And again, I'm no expert at tearing down reels. I just like tearing things down and taking a look at all the internals. Okay, so let's get into this end plate. It's just going to be a bunch of screws, 1, 2, 3, and then there's a 4th right there. Yeah, one comment that I want to make about this reel compared to the Aldebaran over here. I mean, you see like there's these gaps, and the finish is just not nearly as good. And then when we get into the internal portion of the reel, you'll see that the gear, the main gear, is just not nicely, not as nicely manufactured as the Shimano one for sure. But I mean, it works. And so, that's what makes these reels so great, is that for the price that you're paying, you're getting a reel that can, cast with the best of them. Oh, if you get good brakes. So the weird thing about the brake is that, and I've kind of been reading more about it, it seems like that the fixed brakes are TSURINOYA's fix to the underperforming brakes, which is really, really odd to me why they would go about choosing to kind of fix everything. So, okay, there we go. All right, so there's the handle bearing, and then that's just gonna fall out, and then there's this anti-reverse bearing sleeve that I'm just gonna pop out. The anti-reverse doesn't feel nearly as nice also as the Shimano. I mean, but that's, that's, I would hope that that's the case, because the Shimano costs, how many times more. And so this is the internals of the reel. So what we've got here is, it looks like this main shaft is ported. Your pinion, it kind of moves a little bit more than the Shimano, and I don't know if that's like a bad thing or a good thing. The springs, they look a little bit different. It does have a really nice, satisfying click, but unfortunately the button itself has like a ton of mush in it and is really, really thin plastic. I mean, that being said, the Shimano is like not all that much better. There is no mush. Okay, so that is definitely better. But the material, it's just kind of disappointing that they went with a plastic there. Maybe it's to, cut down on weight. But I mean, you're paying like 300 some odd dollars. Why not just give us a metal button, just something nicer in the hand. But anyways, the gear teeth themselves are a lot larger. And oops, there's going to be a washer here that I'm going to go ahead and take off. They're a lot bigger, and I don't know what material this is. It does kind of look like brass to me. It feels a lot heavier than the Shimano, because obviously there's not the nice porting in there. But yeah, this is going to be your clicker in here. If you see, there's a little ball bearing right there, and oh, it's not a ball bearing. It's actually a little tiny pin that goes and fits into a hole, which has a spring on the inside of it to kind of push it out. And then you can see the little grooves that it goes in and it clicks onto. You can hear it there. You can kind of get some purchase on it. So that's that. And then here's your carbon drag washer. And then underneath this, you can see that nice, wonderful porting that TSURINOYA has gone and done on the shaft itself. To get to these two bearings right here on this and this, you're actually going to have to take this main assembly out, and then get into here, take off this front nose piece, take off this little detent or side plate latch, take off this C-clip, and then you're going to have to take off this line guide. So it's a bit involved, and I'm not going to do it for this video because this video is already running quite long, and I don't want to completely bore you guys, but that's where the video is going to stop. And oh, there goes the pinion. And yeah, that's the TSURINOYA Dark Wolf Ultra in all its glory. All right, guys, cheers. We'll see you in the next one.